Hello and welcome to the Bajirao IAS Academy. Today we are going to discuss on a very important topic, and this topic is basically game changer for you. Why game changer? Because here we have analyzed the prelims topic for the polity section, and remember, from this analysis we have basically extracted 12 important topics that will help you to conquer the challenge related to the polity section that we in the paper faces. And what are the challenges we faces? Basically, we do read various topics from the M. Lakshmikant and other standard books, but we are not able to understand from which topic UPSC is going to ask, and that's why there is a huge wastage of time, and that time, if properly safeguarded, can help you to revise the other subject as well, and you can recall in the examination in a better way. So from 10 years analysis, and not only that, we have analyzed the 2023 paper as well, and from that we concluded that now you have to be strengthened into the static portion plus the dynamic portion UPSC is now focusing on, because any question you are seeing in the current prelims paper that has two components now. The first component is your static portion, and the second component is your dynamic portion, whether it is polity, whether it is economy, whether it is science and tech, okay, whether it is other topic. So based on that, we have tried to compile some of the important topic, and here we will be restricting our discussion to the polity section, and in the coming times we will be exploring our discussion on various topics like economics, like the science and technology. Okay, so if you are enjoying our lecture series, please do like, share, subscribe, because in the coming time it will be a very beneficial for you that you can properly analyze the topic and you can revise in a less time, so it will enhance your productivity, efficiency, and the right approach. Okay, so without wasting our time, let us start to discuss. First of all, here you can see in the PDF there is only 12 topics you have to focus upon, and here in the second portion, that is in the right section, okay, you can see that we have added the dynamic polity, because in the prelims paper the dynamic polity is getting due recognition. So we have tried to develop some of the dynamic topics and from where the UPSC is asking the question. So we have also tried to decode that, and definitely it will be helping you. And from all these analysis we can conclude that up to 90% and also up to 95% questions definitely come from these topics. And I am not saying this is already said by the previous year paper. You can open your previous year paper just now and try to match the questions, and you can find easily. You can also analyze, you can also focus that how to analyze the paper, and definitely you will also come to the same conclusion that I had already concluded. So without wasting our time, let's start our discussion. If you are liking our initiative, please click the bell icon and please do subscribe and like, share among your friend circle so that your friend also gets benefited. Okay, and this will reduce your burden up to 50 to 60% mental pressure as well, because at the last moment you have lots of revision to be done, whether it is the polity or the economy or anything. But from these strategy your burden will be halved, okay, and you will feel confident in clearing the prelims as well. So now let's start. So first of all we will try to discuss the static portion, okay, then we will move to the dynamic portion. And remember, the UPSC is now incorporating dynamicity into the question paper from 2022 onwards. Before that, up to 2021 paper, we have analyzed that mostly static questions were asked, okay, and that's why your preparation should be like a static topic plus dynamic topic. That will boost your preparation, that will strengthen your selection chances. Okay, so first of all, let us start our discussion with the static part. So I have summarized this list based on the priority. Okay, for example, number 1 represents that you have to dig deeper. Okay, so try to read any book, any standard book which you may be referring, like M. Lakshmikant, okay, like NCERT, in that way. So the first topic will be at most important, that is parliament and the state legislature. And mostly you should focus on parliament. Here you can focus on Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, the bills, okay, the procedure to pass the bill, okay, role of president in passing the bill. There are various dimensions. Money bills, okay, the ordinary bills, the constitutional amendment bills. So how they are passed, whether president assent is required or not, you have to explore in that way. Session of the parliament, you have to explore. So try to read deeper, okay, and you can cover it from M. Lakshmikant. This may be sufficient also, okay. So after that, you can move to the judiciary. From judiciary section, you need to focus on Supreme Court first. Then you should move to High Court, okay. Then you should move to the subordinate court. And in subordinate court, you can focus on the Gram Nyayalayas, family courts, okay. But the major emphasis on the Supreme Court and the High Court. And in the Supreme Court, you should decode the power of the Supreme Court, the appointment procedure, the impeachment procedure, okay, and the writ powers of the Supreme Court and the High Court. Also try to understand the writs, okay, like Q warranto, okay, the mandamus, okay. So when we are talking about judiciary, so you have to go much deeper. Don't limit like only you have read basic provisions of the Supreme Court, the High Court. Try to read the power, try to read the writ, okay, try to read about the special leave petitions. These all comes under the judiciary section. So hope you understood the second topic. Now we are moving to the third topic. Third topic is also very, very important, and you can read as a combination of 3 topics here. That is the fundamental rights, the DPSP, directive principle of the state policy, and the fundamental duties. So basically, the priority should be on the fundamental rights. Then you should understand about the DPSP. Then you should move to the fundamental duty. Only one page is basically about the fundamental duties, and how much fundamental duties are there, can you comment in the comment box, okay. So you can basically know about the articles here, the exceptions here, okay, and also the sub-derived fundamental rights, like when we talk about article 9, article 19 basically. So there are derived fundamental right, like we have the right to speech and expression, but it also includes like a right to information, okay. And when we talk about article 21, that deals about right to life and liberty, but its sub-derived right is what? Right to privacy, right to dignity, right to shelter, okay. So you have to decode deeper, and from where you can do it? M. Lakshmikant. Majorly your static portion will be covered from M. Lakshmikant. That is a big relief for you. And for the conceptual part, we will be discussing other source as well. So kindly wait and watch till end. We will be providing you the sources as well, okay. So when we talk about the fourth topic, the executive, and in the executive you have to focus on president, power of president, impeachment of president, okay, and how the power of president in case of scheduled areas, okay, in case of tribal areas, you have to dig deeper. So try to cover holistically regarding the executive topic, regarding the power of president, and then you can move to the council of ministers. And there is a famous question for the UPSC, like the council of minister is responsible to whom, like the people or the Lok Sabha or the state legislative assembly, or none of these. You can also quote the answer in the comment box. And then you should have an understanding about the governor, the powers of the governor, okay, and the discretionary power of the governor, the appointment procedure, the removal procedure, all of that. So you have to cover various dimensions of these executive personality. And further you have to explore about the Prime Minister. However, while reading the Council of Minister, you will able to understand about the Prime Minister, okay, because Prime Minister actually is a minister but first among equal, you can say, okay. So that is the point. And then we have the fifth topic, that will be the preamble. Every year UPSC on average do ask a question on the preamble, and which type of question they ask, whether it is enforceable or not, and also the important keywords mentioned in the preamble like the socialist, sovereign, republic. They ask about the meaning, liberty, they ask about the meaning. So try to decode the meaning, try to understand the terms, okay. So this type of question do ask in the preamble, okay. And also remember whether it is basically part of the constitution or not, okay. Try to think in that manner. And then also you have to remember that whether it is enforceable or not, okay. So you can cover in that detail. And then we have the next topic, we have the important amendments, okay. So important amendments of the past. Here you can get an idea about the 42nd amendment, okay, 44th amendment. And remember that 42nd amendment is basically referred as mini constitution, okay. And also you need to understand about the first amendment, and further you can remember about the 97th amendment, okay, 86th constitutional amendment. So in M. Lakshmikant there has been a list of important amendment. Go through that and definitely you have the summarized way of articles regarding the amendment, okay. And when we talk about the amendment, don't forget to have an idea about the latest amendment which are going on. Like we have the 106th amendment that are being in news because of the women's reservation bill. And also you should have an idea about the 100th amendment, 101st amendment, 102nd amendment, 3rd amendment, 4th amendment, 5th amendment, okay. So that comes under the latest list. So that is the point, how amendment is done, procedure of amendment. So you have to explore in that dimension as well, okay. That's why I am telling you that be comprehensive on these topics, because these are favorite topic of UPSC. Every year from these topic itself the question is asked, okay. You can reduce your burden by 50 to 60% by focusing on these topics, and definitely the probability of coming of the questions from this topic is very high, very high, okay. So when we talk about the seventh topic, it is related to the emergency provisions. And in the case of emergency provisions, basically UPSC do focus on the national emergency, the president rule, okay, mostly. And further, when there is a national emergency, what is the impact on the executive, what is the impact on the state legislature. So these type of questions do get asked. So try to explore in that way, okay. Who get the power to legislate, who get the power to execute, okay. What is the role of president during the national emergency. To try to understand what is the role of the parliament, what is the power of the parliament. So you can get an idea about the emergency topic from the M. Lakshmikant book as well. Then we have the important chapter, that is your center state relations, okay. This is basically the compilation of various provisions which is under the constitutional provisions, okay. Because we know that India is a quasi federal in nature, that we have, like in normal situation the state have the power to legislate, to execute, okay. But in the abnormal situation, like in case of emergency, the power to legislate, to execute basically goes in the hand of a union government, okay. So that comes here, the center state relations. So you can explore the power of Rajya Sabha in approving the legislation regarding the state, okay. Also in what case the state legislature can request the parliament to make laws. So to try in that way, so you can cover it, okay. And then in the ninth topic, you can go for the concept based terminology, and here we can say you that in these days UPSC is focusing on the concept based terminology. Okay, in the earlier years there was one questions, two questions, but now we are seeing like 2 to 3 questions only from the concept based terminology. What do you mean by concept based terminology? Like, what do you mean by liberty? UPSC did had asked about liberty, the meaning of liberty. Okay, and in this year as well UPSC did ask about the due process of law. Okay, what do you mean by due process of law? They ask about the basic tenets of the constitution, why we do frame the constitution. Okay, so these type of question comes from the conceptual base, so from where you can get an idea to solve, to understand these concepts. So there is an important source, that is your 11th NCERT. Okay, and here important terms have been explained in a great example. Okay, so you can learn from that. Secularism, fraternity, republic. Okay, so these are the terms which is mentioned in the preamble. Okay, the terms which is mentioned in the DPSP. So you can understand all of that and try to go deeper. Otherwise you will not able to solve the question. You will get confused in the options, because in these concept based terminology UPSC do give the easy question, but the options is little bit tricky. Okay, so in the 10th topic you have to move to the local self government. Here when we talk about the local self government, basically you can have an idea of the Panchayati Raj institution and the urban bodies, that is municipality. So you have to understand about the 73rd amendment, 74th amendment, and the time period to conduct the election for the PRIs or the municipalities. Okay, and the representation of the women. Okay, try to understand in that angle as well, as well as the subjects which has been provided to these local bodies. Okay, like there is a subject list in schedule 11 for the Panchayati Raj. In schedule 12 we have the subject list for the urban local bodies. Okay, so you have to understand the subject as well, on which subject they can have the decision, they have the power to decide. Okay, and then we have the another topic about the Constituent Assembly. In this year UPSC did ask about like 2 questions regarding the Constituent Assembly. So this is not the case that only this year it has been asked. The trend shows that even in 2021 2020 there is 1 or 2 questions regarding this topic, like about the drafting committee. Okay, when the when the constitution was adopted. Okay, so these type of questions was asked, so kindly prepare with that angle. Okay, and then we have the a special list that is under the topic number 12, and here you have to focus on the important schedules of the constitution. And remember that we have total 12 schedules of the constitution, 1 to 12. So important schedules that UPSC do focuses on, like the 5th schedule, 6th schedule. Okay, the 9th schedule. Okay, but for your sake you have to understand, you have to remember all the schedule. Just remember the provisions, what they aimed for, that will suffice. But for 5th schedule and 6th schedule, try to get deeper, because this year UPSC did ask about this like tribals, like the scheduled tribes, but they dig deeper. Okay, so you can also refer the previous year paper, this year's paper, to have a idea of a type of the questions UPSC is now asking. So I am providing you the topic, but you have the responsibility, the duty to look the previous year paper, because that will help you to connect, that will help you to join bond with our speaking and your thinking, and that will help you to decode the solution for your problem. Okay, so now we have discussed that, and then we have the questions on the constitutional body. And when we talk about constitutional body, there has been created under the constitutional provisions, like UPSC did ask about the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Election Commission of India, Attorney General of India, Finance Commission. So these are very important body. That's why UPSC do have a focus on that. So try to have an idea on these body, their power, their functions, how they are removed. Okay. So this year UPSC did ask about Finance Commission. Also they asked about which of the following bodies are constitutional. Okay. So there is a list provided in the M Lakshmi Kant. Go for that and try to remember that which are constitutional body, which are not. So if you are able to remember the constitutional body, you can eliminate the non-constitutional body. Okay. And also try to remember which are a statutory body. And here I am asking you the question, like, tell me what is the difference between the statutory body, the constitutional body, and the executive body. Please do tell. It will help you that whether you are basically revising the content or not. So here for the non-constitutional body, actually UPSC did ask about the Niti Aayog. Okay. And Niti Aayog basically was replaced in the place of Planning Commission. So Niti Aayog, the functions, the body under which there are basically sub-organs. So you have to understand in that way. So we have finished the static topic, only 12 topic, but this will help you to get 90% questions of the polity. Okay. And if you mix with that dynamic topics. So now from 2022 onwards, UPSC has increased the dynamic portions as well. When we call that a question is dynamic, actually when the question is not mentioned or the concept is not mentioned in the standard book or the reference book. Okay, they are basically picked up from the newspaper, from the articles, from the editorial. Okay, and however you should predict that from the dynamic polity as well, what type of questions UPSC is asking. Basically they are asking the topic which are more in use. You can understand in 2022 they has asked about bar councils. Okay, these are the terms which are mostly or the yearly mentioned in the newspaper, along with the advocates. Okay, along with the contempt of court. Remember, this is very important topic for the UPSC, and here you have to dig deeper, like civil contempt or the criminal contempt and the differences between them. Okay, so UPSC focuses on these. Even 2 to 3 questions have been basically asked from this topic itself. So you can see these are the dynamic portions, and the number of questions are increasing. Like for example, judicial custody, police custody. You always read these topics in the newspaper, but you ignore. Why you ignore? Because you think that these topics are not relevant. These are for the lawyers. Okay, the judges, those who want to become judge. Okay, but now you have to have a basic overview about these terms. Okay, that's why in 2023 as well you can see the extension of this dynamic polity questions. Like in 2023 they have asked about the prisons. Okay, who regulates them, whether it comes under the provincial government or to the central government. So these type of questions they are asking. But remember that you don't have to go such deeper. You have, if basic overview or idea, then definitely you can mark the correct answer. Then UPSC did ask about the home guards. They asked about the national flag of India. Remember, on an yearly basis we celebrate 2 festivals. Okay, Republic Day and the Independent Day, where we host our flag. But we didn't revise our provisions related to the national flag of India. So UPSC had asked this question. So you can understand that the news which are frequently mentioned in the media, in fact they can become the question as well. Okay, and there are some restrictive provisions which do exist in our laws, so they are also asking about that. Like in the coming future they can ask about the like unlawful activities prevention act. Okay, who can impose this, like this type of question. Okay, and what restrictions under UAPA do exist to the person who has been accused or arrested. So these type of questions that may be asked, not the deeper one. Okay, and also you can see that the CBI, the NIA, okay, these are frequently in news. ED, okay, these are frequently in the news. So maybe these body, on these body the question may be asked. So these all comes under the dynamic portion, and you can cover it by like filtering the topic from the newspaper and try to decode from the internet. Okay, try to search from the internet, try to search from the chat GPT or the Google Bard. This will help you to prepare the content of these type, because like these topic will not be found in the various coaching magazines. Okay, so you have to prepare from your side, but there is a surety that if you prepare in that way, definitely the probability of questions will be more for you. Okay, because you know that dynamicity is becoming a part, so you should also be in dynamic nature. Okay, so friends, hope you understood, and in the coming series we are also bringing similar lectures for the different subjects, like for the economy, okay, like for the history, and for the history section the terminology based question is very famous. Okay, and for the science and technology there is also terminology based question. So how to deal with the terminology based question, we will be discussing that. Okay, so if you are liking our initiative, please do join, please do like, and please do share with your friend circle. And how did you feel about this lecture? Try to comment, and if you really enjoyed, then definitely do subscribe. Okay, and the PDF of this content will be delivered to our Telegram channel. Please do join our Telegram channel. Okay, hope you enjoyed. Thank you friends, we'll meet again, and thank you very much.